And we are back with another episode of Joel Cupcake Live with me, your host. I'm Joel Cupcake. And obviously, I'm live recording this for you right now. What's up, everybody? How are I doing? I got my protein shake, my bottle of water. I am ready to go. Thanks, everybody that watched that last episode. I know the format was a little weird because it was recorded before the palsy, and I had to cut in that new intro and shit. It was awkward. I appreciate Thomas being on the show. Hope you all checked out his band and his company. Those of you that watched all my videos with my journey with Bell's palsy, I obviously still have it. Shit's on hold there a little bit with those episodes because I'm just in the long, slow recovery period. My nerves are sending the signals to my muscles, but my muscles aren't moving. So that's just the problem. That's just where I'm at now. So we'll get there eventually, I appreciate those of you that have hit me with the kind words of support watching those episodes, whether you're reaching out to me on Twitter, text messages, phone calls, emails, Instagram, what have you not. Appreciate it all. Anyways, we're going to get the ball going right now. I got a good friend of mine on the show today. Some of you might not know who he is, and that's okay because it's my fucking show. I want to have him on because he's fucking rad. So my guest today is a man named Calvin. He is a former U.S. Marine. He has also been involved in the local metalcore scene for a while when he was living out in 831, which is how I know him. And more recently, he has a big boy job. But besides that, he's a Twitch streamer 3 nights a week, and he's very, very entertaining. His name on Twitch is Calvan, like Calvan, and his Twitter handle is Calvan Man. So get it, Calvan.
Yeah, it's a joke.
I don't know. Do they get it, Calvin? I'm not sure.
I hope most people don't.
So I wanted to do the show like usual where we go backwards in time. Let's start now. How the fuck did you come up with that name? I've actually never asked you this.
So my name is Calvin.
Okay, yeah, we just went over that.
Right, like Calvin Klein, Calvin and Hobbes, and to say my name with a Mexican accent, right, would be Calvin, right?
Okay.
And so that kind of sounds like cow beans.
Okay.
And
you're reaching a little bit, but I'm following.
No, okay, so cow beans, right? And so my wife started calling me cow beans for a little bit, and then cow, just cow, like cow, but cow.
No, I get it. Yeah. It's a cute,
and then I was just like cow van.
You're her cow. She wants to milk you. I get it. It's cute pet nickname shit, dude. Right? You know what I mean?
I mean, she is milking me for my life. She takes every life essence that I have every day. But yeah, Calvin. Yeah, that's how it came about. But it's funny enough, I'm not the original Calvin. Yeah.
Like there was another one on Twitch or what?
Well, there's a reason why my Twitter handle is Calvin Man. Because Calvin was taken. Which my original Twitch name was Calvin Man as well. Because Calvin was taken. On Origin, on everything, dude. Calvin's taken. I'm not creative as I thought I was. All the other Calvins beat me to it.
Well, I mean, there's like fucking 7 billion people on the planet, so.
But how many Calvins though?
God forbid you're not that creative, Calvin.
Okay, hold on. But there's a dude in Australia or New Zealand, and he has the Twitter handle Calvin. His name is fucking Kevin, dude. Like, come on, man, Kevin, Calvin. I'm angry.
Have you DM'd him like, yo, like,
I thought about it.
What's your fucking right? What's your right? What is your right here, sir?
No, I thought about it, dude. I was like, should I really just message this dude and be like, hey, give me your fucking Twitter handle? You know what I mean? like, who am I? I'm a nobody. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my god, I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. Well, Calvin, I'm glad you're on the show. Everybody watching, Calvin and I have been friends for around a decade now.
Yeah,
I would say. Mm-hmm. I actually fell in love with Calvin as a person because he has a beautiful voice. He sings. He was doing the Twitch things for a while, but that got shut down. I don't actually know why that got shut down. Do you?
All the music on there was copyrighted, and so to have the music you know, to have Twitch Sings, Twitch would have to buy the licenses for all those songs that were on there,
which they were not willing to do, even though they have Jeff Bezos money.
right? Well, the problem is that, you know, do you want to? Because they probably had to pay. They would more likely have to pay double license, right? They'd have to do licenses for Twitch Sings, which is all karaoke music, which is no lyrics, or or buy licenses to the music outright, so that streamers could use it on their platform, right? Which is why they started that whole, I don't even know what it's called, music YouTube Twitch Studio. I don't know what it's called, but so you can play copyrighted music on your Twitch channel now using the Twitch.
I still haven't looked into that.
Yeah. So that's why they did it, because it's just like, okay, support this karaoke app that no one uses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it makes sense, and money wise, it makes sense.
Yeah. But okay. Anyways, now let's go backwards in time.
Okay.
Okay. So I kind of want to know. I don't know. I just know you were in the Marines. Like, I know we've been friends for a while, but like, I don't like to pry into people's shit. That's what my show's for.
That's right.
So you know, tell me, like, did you join the Marines right out of high school? I'm assuming, right?
No, a year after.
Okay, well, close enough.
Yeah.
We're old now, so that's basically right out.
That's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So what led you to that decision?
So my grandpa was in the Marine Corps when he was a young strapping man. And then my uncle, his son, joined the Marine Corps as well. Both for different reasons though. And then I graduated high school, and then a year later I was always, I look up to my uncle. I see him as like my actual like paternal father figure.
Your Theo?
My Theo. We actually don't say Theo. We don't say Theo or Thea. We say uncle.
Interesting.
Both sides of my family. We say uncle and aunt.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but it's also like we're Mexicans, you know. So,
well, I mean, I know a lot of Mexicans, and you know, I feel like that's pretty normal. Actually,
it's very normal. It's very Americanized.
Like my girlfriend is you know, let's just say she is of Latin descent and Italian. And she uses Theo and Thea,
right?
But like, you know, half her family is white and they still use it. So
my wife is Portuguese, and they say Portuguese E and Thea.
Oh, I'm Portuguese. Did you know that?
I didn't know that actually.
I'm half, dude.
Oh shit, bro.
You should tell your angry lady lawyer that I'm half. We can bond. We can bond over that.
You guys are family.
I'm not accepted by the Portuguese though, because I'm not a big wine person. You know. So they hate me.
I mean, I hate you. So.
Fair. Anyway.
No, okay. So
continue.
So anyway, so I looked up to my uncle. He was the military was always like something that I was like familiar with. And so when I graduated high school, then a year later, I was driving through my hometown, and I see a friend walking down the street. So I pull over. I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing walking down the street?" He's like, "You want to ride?" And they were like, "Yeah, you know, why not?" And so they got in the car, and we were just shooting the shit. And I was like, man, like I don't even know what I'm gonna do with my life, you know? Like I'm going to community college, I'm working at this stupid job, you know, like.
What's your hometown again? I forget.
That's Hanford, near Fresno.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And so I was like, I'm not, you know, what am I doing in my life? I'm just spinning my wheels, I'm not doing anything. And her parents were both in the Marine Corps.
Oh,
and
okay.
She was like, you know, sometimes I feel like joining the military. And I was like, yeah, I thought about it too. And we're like, ha, let's do it, right? And so we went to the recruiter station, and we were looking for, but we were like, we don't want to join the Marine Corps, we want to join the Air Force. And so because it's the chillest one. And so,
oh, is it?
Oh, dude, hands down, Air Force. Majority of the jobs in the Air Force is like chill, like you know, like it's like going to work.
It's like piloting drones or
no. I mean, you could do that, but officers do that. Like people with college degrees do that. Enlisted people don't do that.
So if you join the Air Force as an enlisted person, a lot of it's what are you like? You're not doing maintenance, though. Like
you do maintenance. You do like technical. There's Air Force has a huge cyber warfare department. Like you do a lot of stuff in the Air Force.
Cool. Okay, I did not know
And so like neither of us wanted to join the Marine Corps, so we're just like, or the Army, so we're just like, fuck it, let's just join the Air Force, you know, have it easy. And so we go to I'm sorry. So we go to the recruiter station, and there was Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and there was no Air Force there. So we go into the Army office, and we're like, hey, where's the Air Force? And they're like, fuck the Air Force, join the Army. And we're like, okay. And so
Literally, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like nothing about that interaction surprises me.
And so we're talking to the dudes, and the dude was like really trying to sell me, dude. Like I forget what job he was like offering, like saying I should do, recommending. But he was like, bro, if you sign up, you'll get $30,000 enlistment. If you do this, you get another 50 on top of that. You know, like he's just like throwing numbers at me, dude. And I kind of felt like I was like being exploited. And I was like, this is weird, man. Like I don't know. Like that just sounds weird. And so I left that day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna join the Marine Corps. Like, you know, like I'm a badass. And so I was like, I'm gonna join the Marine Corps. You know, it's in my family. You know, I might as well.
Yeah.
And so I went and joined the Marine. Went and signed up for the Marine Corps like the next day, and then I left for boot camp like 2 weeks later.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, I literally didn't know that it was just like on a whim like that.
It usually doesn't. What happens is people sign up, and they spend months in this program where it's like, okay, you're like a scrawny ass high school kid. Let's get you into shape so you can, you know, be fit enough to survive Marine Corps boot camp, because Marine Corps boot camp is hellacious, and it's the hardest part of being in the being in the Marine Corps is Marine Corps boot camp.
Yeah.
And like it's just it's mentally taxing, it's physically taxing, it's just a whole nother universe that people don't even realize exists.
Well, it's basically like conditioning you, right? Like I don't want to say it's breaking you.
Well, actually, it's an entire indoctrination. So, and not to say it in a bad way, but it's the way it's been designed, and the way it's been updated to meet current standards is a total psychological indoctrination, so that you respond to the things that they're trying to instill in you. So when you get there, right, usually what happens is they make you show up at nighttime, right? They make you show up at nighttime so that you're disoriented, right? So you don't know what's going on. And if you get there early, they make you stay up all night. So then you get started with everybody in the morning. And so what happens is you get there, they're screaming and yelling at you, right? They take you to this booth. They make you pull everything out of your pockets and all this stuff like that. You put it into a little bag. And then they make you get naked.
Which sounds just like prison.
Sounds just like, well, exactly, right? They make you get naked, and then they give you the clothes. They say, wear these underwear, wear these socks, wear these shorts and pants, and wear this shirt. This is all you're allowed to wear right now, right? And you're not allowed to speak unless you ask to speak, right? And so like they give you the clothes, they shave your head. So now, you know, like I have this luscious full head of hair right now, but if I were to shave it, I would look like a different person, right? You're not supposed to recognize yourself. You're not supposed to be the person who you were when you came in. The person when you came in had a full head of hair. Now you don't, right? Because hair is identity, right? So they take away, they make you stay up all night. They give you the clothes and, you know, all the stuff like that. And then, like they, you know, that whole process is supposed to, you know, break you down to nothing, to like a baby, right? Because babies can't speak unless you tell them to speak, you know. Babies don't have hair, you know. And so then once they put you at that infantile state, then they can build you into the person that they want you to be.
Yeah. I mean, I always like knew that, but like hearing you actually say that is kind of crazy, dude.
Well, it's a trip, man. And like I don't think people, I mean, anybody can understand, right? Anybody can understand anything.
Yeah.
But I don't think people really understand how intense it is. When you go through it, like I know some dudes who came out of boot camp like like brainwashed, like part of the fucking machine. You know what I mean? Like
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? Technically,
that's the whole point, right? You know,
that's why.
but
I mean,
like,
how many fucking movies have we had where it's like, oh, the guy has a family. Oh, now he has 3 kids, and he goes on a 4th tour of duty. Like he can't come home because he can't function.
right? Yeah, and like that's like that. I was saying like everybody gets it, right? But like that process, dude, is so intense. Like people either one come out. Okay, so you either come out fully indoctrinated, or you come out yourself, but you're following this platform that they've given you. Like I'm the latter. When I came out of boot camp, I was like, all right, cool, I'm a Marine now, dope. You know what I mean? But like some people are just like,
Yeah, makes sense.
you know, like some people are just like I knew so many dudes like that who were just like they are the Marine. You know what I mean? Like the Marines.
They're fucking Kurt Russell, dude. I get it, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, for real. No, it's true, man.
I know that that's not the Marine. That's Universal Soldier, but same difference, dude.
The same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. That's great. Well, and then there's the occasional person who just can't take it, right? And they break. And
Well, yeah. Then there's the third category of people who actually fail out of boot camp because it's too psychologically taxing on them, or they make it through boot camp, but they come out with like some weird, like, thing about them because boot camp fucked them up.
Yeah, boot camp broke them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Insane.
Exactly. It's a trip, man. It's a trip.
That's
I mean,
wild.
they've designed boot camp to be the way it is right now because of past wars and the way we as people, not even just American people, just as people respond to war. I read a book. It's called sorry. It's called On Killing, right? And it was written by a former army psychologist, now psychologist, historian. And he talks about how the effects of war have had on people in terms of like PTSD and how it affects them.
Yeah.
Right. And so he the United States has changed the way that they do boot camp in the last 100 years based on the big wars of the 20th century, right? World War I, World War II, and especially Vietnam.
Yeah. Because that was when it was kind of like, this isn't working, right? That was what Vietnam caused the most problems, right?
Right. Well, it wasn't necessarily about problems. It was about modern warfare. So in back in the old days, right? Wars were like campaigns, right? Or you'd send your military out on a campaign, meaning you take this battalion of soldiers, Marines, what have you, and you send them to the war zone, and they would stay out there for like 2 years. They wouldn't come back home. They'd just be out on a campaign for 2 years and they come back, right? And that's kind of how wars used to be back in the day. Like hey, we're gathering up the Spartans and we're gonna go fight Xerxes, for 2 years or whatever. Fuck, you know what I mean? Like away from home. Bye. I might not ever see you again.
Yeah.
And so that's how it used to be back in the World War II days. And during that time, the average American soldier saw about 20 days of fighting, of like combat in a year, right?
Damn.
And then when it came time for Vietnam War, right? They changed the way they did war campaigns. What they would do was they'd send a platoon out, right, of like 100 people, or a company of like 100 people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then they would
Platoon's a great movie, by the way.
I'm sorry, what? Platoon?
Platoon.
Oh, yeah. And so they would have a company out, like 100 people or whatever, and go put them in a war zone, right? And then like every like 3 months or like a short amount of time, like a couple of months, they would rotate individuals, not the whole company. And so you'd get these people who'd be in like crazy war for like 3 months, and then you'd like, hey buddy, you and I have a close bond, Joel. And they're like, sorry, Joel, I'm going back home, deuces. And then another person comes in and he's like, let's fucking fight this war. And you're like, dude, I've been seeing war. Like, it's not like hardcore like that. The average American soldier in the Vietnam War saw 280 days of combat in a year, compared to, like World War II people saw 20 days of combat. 280 days of combat. Like, that's insane, right? And so there was a large increase of PTSD cases and like war trauma after Vietnam because of how they were rotating people in and out.
Yeah.
And just how much bloodshed and war combat that the soldiers were seeing in that time frame. And so from Vietnam War, the U.S. government has actually changed the way they do military boot camp for all the branches, so that we are more likely to pull the trigger without thinking, and with it causing the least amount of psychological impact on us as a human being.
Because you're like, when you shoot somebody, that changes you. Like when
it does. It does. We're not designed to kill other humans. We're designed to protect other humans and to be regular people.
We're designed to hunt and reproduce.
Right? Yeah, exactly. We're designed to hunt and reproduce, and so having killing another person physically changes the way your brain functions. Like that was the basis of that book, is how killing is not inherent for human beings, but the military.
I was almost killed by a man with a gun once, and being on the opposite end of it, just that fucking changed my life.
Oh yeah, dude.
So I can only imagine what the actual act of killing someone does to your psyche.
Right. No, it's a really good book, man. It's called On Killing. It's a dope ass book. I might actually have to pick that up. You really should, dude. Like, one of the things that it talks about is how, like, during the Civil War, which is the bloodiest American war, right? During the Civil War, most people didn't shoot their guns. Well, back then during that time, it was that line up and shoot at each other, right? Stand in the line,
shoot line, then you duck back, reload, and the other person shoots.
Yeah, right. They were still doing that, and what they were finding was that people would get online, and the sergeant or commander or whatever was supposed to say fire. People would actually just say, instead of pulling the trigger, they would say bang, and then they would reload their guns, even though they never shot their gun, because people don't want to shoot at other people. Only the people, like, in nowadays, and set aside the training, but the only people who actually can just like shoot at somebody is a person with psychotic tendencies, right? That's what you call a psychopath, someone who goes against natural or basic human functionalities or whatever the hell. And so people, and then there were actually just cases of people like passing their guns off to the person who could shoot. And now it wasn't that every person who pulled the trigger was someone who killed somebody. People were actually pulling the triggers and shooting above people or below people on purpose because they didn't want to shoot other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great book. It's a great book.
I'm definitely gonna.
You should totally do it. Yeah.
I'm like super intrigued by all this.
It's very interesting, man.
So I want to go into dangerous territory.
Okay.
Now, because I don't get to talk to a lot of people that have the life experiences you do.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like being a Mexican in the Army?
Marines.
Sorry, I'm a simpleton. I don't differentiate.
No.
But yes, being a Mexican guy in the Marines in a country that, I'm not even gonna say we have a history of racism. We have a racism problem.
Right.
Like how I know everyone's story is different, and I know where you're from and where you're based is also matters.
Right.
How was that for you? Especially being a young man.
Right. So it's funny. I was actually just talking about this morning with my wife, and I didn't know that this was something you were going to ask me. But we were talking about it, and it was because I saw a TikTok, and the TikTok was like, "When did you become a radical leftist?" Right? Whatever the hell.
I hate that term, but I get it.
Right. So I grew up in a Catholic household.
Same.
I grew up very very conservative, very Republican, right? Because we were essentially, even though it was decades past, and no one else in my older generation was in the military except for my uncle, right? We were technically a military family, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, we based our whole family, our whole I persona off the Marines, right? Even though there was only 2 people who were in the Marines at the time growing up.
Yeah.
And so when I turned voting age, right, when I was old enough to vote, my grandpa said to me, and he's this this old grizzled Mexican man who's been through all the shit you could think of. I was like, Papa, what should I register to vote as? Should I vote as Republican or Democrat? And he goes, I'm gonna tell you what my dad told me. And I was like, what was that? And he was like, you can either be a Republican or you can be a jackass, right? Because the symbol for Democrats is jackass or is a donkey. Right?
Yes, I know.
And I learned actually Andrew Jackson started that symbol, the jackass, because donkeys were stubborn. And so he made the donkey the symbol for the Democratic Party because
I actually knew that history.
I did. I thought that was really interesting. But anyway,
history was the only subject I liked in high school for some reason. It was like the only thing I could pick up on.
Right. It's so I voted. I used to vote Republican. I used to identify as a Republican. And when you go into the Marine Corps, everybody else is too. Like 99% of the people in the military vote Republican conservative, right? Because the Republicans have adopted the like philosophy or the image as the pro-military. Right?
Yes, correct.
Or party, even though both sides are pro-military.
Yes.
So I voted military. And I was actually talking with my wife today. Like there were two events that happened that I was actually in the middle of. That shifted me more left. I was always left. Now that I think about it, I was always a left.
Oh, go ahead. Finish your statement.
I've always been like a leftist guy. Like I've never been homophobic. I've never been racist. You know what I mean? I've never been any of those things.
Well, I feel like what I was about to say a second ago, before I realized I cut you off, was that like I feel like even if you're a Republican in California, you've been exposed to Democratic beliefs and tendencies. So like you're I find like unless you're a fucking redneck
right
in California, like you're probably a liberal.
Oh yeah.
Or like you're in the middle, you're like a conservative. What do they call them? Conservative Democrat now?
Libertarians or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, whatever. Who fucking I don't know. I stopped paying attention a long time
ago. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like you can't not live in California and not be exposed to Democratic thinking. You just can't. It does not matter how stubbornly Republican you are.
So like one of the things my wife said was, most people, if you boil it down for them, most people are going to be progressive liberal. It's just that they're not exposed to things that force them to consider the identity that they're giving themselves. So two things happened in the Marine Corps that actually made me identify more as a liberal or a leftist or whatever the hell. And this is important to me being Mexican,
you are.
right? Because I didn't realize that throughout the time, I guess it's 3 then. Throughout the time that I was in, I was the token Mexican for every social circle that I was in when I was in the military, right? Because Mexicans aren't the majority of people in the Marine Corps. There's a bajillion white people, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny, in the military, it's all people from all walks of life and whatever the hell. And there's different races and all the races are there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Majority of the people in there come from similar backgrounds, not rich, because rich kids go to college, or they don't go to college because they don't have to,
or they draft, or they dodge draft,
or right, and
or draft, whatever the fuck the term is,
and so we're all like the same people or whatever the hell, but I was always the token Mexican, Mexican jokes at my expense, Mexican jokes at my family's expense, and I was young, so I was young and dumb and fit into, just trying to fit into the thing. I was also making jokes at my own expense too, even though, I didn't necessarily agree with them. It's funny, that was it's just a joke, you know what I mean? Like that was my whole thing, and a lot of people use that rationale too.
I know, yeah, I know. Trust me, I'm a white guy. I understand.
Oh, I know, right? And so I never thought about how I was always just that Mexican dude that everybody's friends with, who's the one who's cool, right?
Yeah.
And then, but there was two big things that happened, and the first one was my experience being overseas. Because by the time I went, I went to Iraq in 2009,
Okay.
and I spent 12 months there.
See, I didn't know that about you, actually.
Yeah, and then after I got back from Iraq, a couple months after I got from Iraq, I deployed again, and I spent 10 months on a ship out into the Mediterranean, the Middle East, right? And we were supporting things happening in Afghanistan. But when I went there, by that time in 2009, 2010, 2011 timeframe, the war was kind of like non-existent, right? There were fights and people were still getting killed, and there's a lot of things going on at that time, but it wasn't as bad as like in 2005, 2006, right? 2007, when like the shit was like really popping off.
Yeah.
And so when I got there, though, like to be perfectly honest, most people deployed at that time, and even to this day, we don't do anything. You go out there. I spent 12 hours a day for 12 months sitting in this little work area where I worked and playing video games. Like you see these Air Force people getting deployed to like Kuwait City or Dubai. They get sent to Dubai, which is a really nice, beautiful place, and they stream on Twitch. That happened like a couple of years ago. They brought them on a Twitch stream, and they were playing with people. Like most people in the military don't do anything super fucking dangerous, right? We just go out there and we dig ditches and put coax cable or whatever the fuck, like it's ridiculous. So, and I was like, why are we here? Like, why are we still out here? Well, how come I'm not in like some World War II campaign fight? Like what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, and all I'd hear from back home was like, support the troops and the war, but I'm like, there's no war going on. There's no war going on. The war is essentially over.
So you lived on the other side of the propaganda, basically, is what you're saying. Like just like in 20 years from now, when people look back, even Republicans are going to think Trump was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because they'll have seen through it. The facade will be lifted,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like I'm actually very closely intimate with how bad the Iraqi war was, not just because I went there. I didn't experience anything, but my uncle also went to Iraq in 2006.
Was he in Desert Storm
he was in Desert Storm in the 90s as well, but he also went to Iraq in 2006.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and he went out with the platoon, and he lost a lot of people in his platoon. My uncle was infantry, and I was not infantry, so we had very different experiences. And so he saw the horrors of war, and it fucked him up. It really messed with him and his friends that he had in his platoon, his people in his platoon. So they're all fucked up in the head because they saw the actual horror of war, but 99% of the people, even in the Marine Corps, don't experience that. So, like, why are we dragging this out longer than we need to, right?
So, was he in the Marine Corps or was he in the Army?
He was in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And so that was like a thought that I had at that time. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well,
and then after that, the second thing that like really affected me, like identity wise, was the don't ask, don't tell thing. So like in 2012 or 2011, 2010 or whatever the fuck, Barack Obama repealed the gays in the military the thing, right? So it was illegal to identify as LGBT in the military, and if you did, you would get kicked out, right? Because you can't for some reason you can't be gay in the military. Which is
literally the dumbest fucking thing ever.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
And so he repealed that. And when that happened while I was in, it happened while I was in, and while I was still in the Marine Corps, and we were all talking about it. Everybody in the military was having these conversations about don't ask, don't tell. And I saw some of these people who I thought were cool people, right, just turn into the most hateful people that I never really experienced it because like I said, I'm not homophobic, I'm not racist or anything like that, right? And so um, when I never ever experienced people just being outwardly just hateful towards other people, and like I remember this one dude, we were all talking, and just out of nowhere, unprompted, he was like, "Man, if they allow gays in the military, and I have to live with one, like get roomed with one, like they're my roommate." He goes, "I'll fucking fight him." And I'm like, "Why, dude?" Like,
Yeah.
why? He goes, "Because I can't just be around. I can't be." I'm like, he's not. I said this to him. I said, "Bro, he's not trying to fuck. He's not trying to fuck you, dude. Like that person just because you're in the room, that doesn't mean they want to fuck you, you know." And he was like, "No, dude, no, I can't fucking do it, man. Can't." Like I'm like
Oh, dude.
who are you, dude? You know what I mean?
Who
Like,
are you?
who are you, dude? Like why do you think, why is it so personal to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was just like so like enlightening to me that you join the military and they're like brotherhood,
Yeah.
fight
Yeah.
with your brother. It's not like that, dude. It's not like
No.
that at all. People waving Confederate flags and shit. You know what I mean? Like
Well, not
on
anymore.
military bases.
Supposedly not anymore, but
No, they still do.
well, it got outlawed. Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
And so they just do it off base now.
Yes.
And so, but like, yeah, like I just to see the reality of the people that were in the military. You know what I mean? And then like a lot of like looking back and being like, man, like I was just like just some dumb hurt Mexican person that everyone just made fun of. You know what I mean? Like I was never really friends with anybody because they all just thought of me as the token Mexican dude. So
Yeah.
it wasn't I all the Mexicans, right? The people who couldn't help it, you know what I mean? Like I don't have a Mexican accent, and my last name isn't Gonzalez, you know what I mean? But like the Gonzalezes, if you didn't ascribe to the white culture, because if you're a Gonzalez in the Marine Corps, you're Gonzo, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone told you Gonzo because no one wanted to say Gonzalez, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you talk like this, hey, I'm Gonzo. You know what I mean? I'm the token Gonzo, like, but like the ones who had the accent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just got made fun of, or they were seen as the dumb guy, you know what I mean?
That's so
And
stupid.
so it was interesting. It was interesting.
That's upsetting, dude.
It's upsetting, dude. I benefited from my light complexion and my accent, and my name. And so like I didn't experience it then. And I honestly don't think I was smart enough then to understand what was happening.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was very ignorant when I was young, and it was just because I didn't have the friends I have now or knew what I knew then. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah. Like my first girlfriend was black, and it was a really big deal to a lot of people, and I never understood why. And it wasn't because, I mean, it was ignorance, but it was also just like, a lot of people think it's really silly when you are told like I didn't know racism existed, but like I didn't, because it never came up. Like my grandparents were told not to be racist around me, so I never had exposure to it.
Right.
All my friends were white. Like growing up, I had one Asian friend growing up. His name was Benji. He was really cool, and my parents and his parents got along. They loved that we were friends. Like it was, so there was never like, I was honestly oblivious to it when I was a very young man. Like when I was a teenager, I was like, what? And then like, I dated a black girl, and that was the first time I experienced it. And it was more like not hate towards her, but just like, oh, you're dating a black girl? And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong? She's a chick. She's hot. Like, what's
right? Exactly.
I'm like, there's a problem here,
right? It's
and they're
crazy.
like, well, yeah, she's black, and I'm like, so like, it was weirder to me because her name was Lynn, and my dad's name is Lynn. That was the weirdest part of our relationship, is that my girlfriend and my dad had the same fucking name.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it just like had gone over my head. Like I was just like, and I was like a punk kid in high school too. You know what I mean? So I did totally like, I already got made fun of because I was like the punk kind of goth kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wore the fucking plaid pants with the suspenders that you didn't wear. That was totally me. I was one of those kids, 100%.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know, so man, that's just.
Yeah.
That's and especially because like, and forgive me if this is my ignorance speaking right now, but I feel like, you know, like a lot of people were really blindsided by the whole Hispanics for Trump thing, right? But I get it because I know so many Hispanic people that have come to this country or their parents came here to legitimately provide a better life for their family or future family. And then so they get here and they're able to do that so that they love our country, which means their children love our country. So their children go fight for our country in the military and then get treated like shit.
Yeah.
And like, in my opinion, that makes they're more American than the Americans that are walking out of privilege, because it's like your parents came here because they literally wanted the better life. They wanted they earned it, and you're proud that they earned it. So you're serving the country and getting shit on for it. Like that's upsetting.
No, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. The whole Hispanics for Trump thing is it's very easily explained by you know, you have all these you know, Latinx people from various countries that they come from, and they come over, and already, you know, they're already starting at this point where most of the countries that they come from are very hardcore Catholic, very hardcore conservative, right? Very hardcore Christian even. So they come over to this country and they go, okay, we're Catholic, we identify as Catholic and religious people. You know, what is the Catholic religious people party, right? And they go, oh, that's the Republican Party. So bam, you know, they already fall into this identity that has to be given to them because of their base belief, even though there's progressive Catholics and
the thing that makes me mad is there's supposed to be separation of church and state, and there's fucking not.
But there's not. The government is the current government is ran, or the current political climate is ran by your religious affiliation.
Oh, I mean, Trump was bad about it, but look at Biden. Biden's very Jesus-y.
Oh yeah, he identifies as a Christian.
Yeah, and see, I guess I was lucky because when I was brought up, we were brought up very Catholic, like Catholic to the point where the Book of Revelations is not a real book in the Bible, Calvin.
Right.
Because God would never punish His people. Like,
right.
No, legit. That's what.
I know. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I get
when
you.
I started reading the Book of Revelations, my fucking grandma told me that, like, oh, God would never treat it. God's not vengeful. He would never allow anything like this to happen. So that book of the Bible just doesn't count.
Right.
But my parents were both Democrats. So it was like I was very lucky because I'm like, when I tell people that like I still have faith, people always look at me like I'm fucking crazy.
Right.
I'm like, you can have faith and not be stupid.
Right.
Like,
right.
It is possible. Just like I know that there are few and far between, but there are Republicans that aren't racist.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
There are Republicans that are like, we need a strong military. All the work should be in America, and whatever I have to take to get that, I will take.
Right.
That's why, and that's the whole reason we had Trump for as long as we did.
Right. Exactly. And so like the Mexicans, or not just Mexicans, but Latinx people, voting conservative is because they identify with the political party that says that they are the religious party, even though
they're not.
They're.
Well, okay, so you know, that obviously what age were you when you got out of the Marines?
I got out of the Marine Corps when I was 24.
And you're 29 now?
I'm 32.
Oh, you are a little closer to my age than I thought you were.
Yeah,
my bad.
I'm about to be 33 in March.
Oh, cool. I'm 35 in May. So
I know.
Thanks. I'm a Gemini. I'm a fucking two-faced son of a bitch, as they say. I always explain it to people as like, yeah, there's regular Joel and there's PinUp Joel. That's why I'm a Gemini. Like, you either get like the business side of me that doesn't have time for your fucking shenanigans, or you have shenanigans Joel, which is basically just Super Troopers, the movie, walking around. You know what I mean?
I know Joel both.
You know both, yes. Yeah, you do. So, okay, so after the Marines, is that when I met you? Like when you moved back to Salinas for a while?
Yeah. I got out of the Marine Corps.
Sorry, Salinas.
I got out of the Marine Corps and I moved to LA and that's when I started dating Katie.
Cool.
And then she got a job up in Monterey, and so we moved up there. And we even though we're from the Fresno area, we knew nothing about Salinas, nothing about it.
Interesting.
And so when she got that job up there, we were like, cool, let's fucking move up. We've been to the Monterey Bay Aquarium. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yes.
so we move up there, and bro, we had no idea. We had no idea that, in 2013, Salinas had the highest murder per capita in the nation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we had no idea. Like we immediately.
Salinas is like forgotten about. Like I remember when Trina and I still lived in Milpitas, right?
Mhm.
So we met when I was living in Salinas,
Mhm.
when I was living with Drew and Frankie and everybody. You
Right.
remember you remember that house. And so like I remember the news was on one night and Trina made fun of me because Salinas moved to number 9 on the most murders a year city list. Like, it was the first time, or maybe it was 7, but it was the first time Salinas had been out of the top 5 since 2000, whatever year you just said.
Right.
And I was like, I'm having a beer for that. And she's like, she looks at me, she's like, that's a good thing. I'm like, listen, like, I know to like people that don't get it, like Salinas is like, just this, nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about it.
But the fact that the murder rate has gone down, like that's significant for that town.
Huge.
Yeah. Like, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a fucking beer and celebrate, because like, I mean, dude, we still have so many friends and people we consider family that live there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Slaters just moved there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We know so many people who live in Salinas still.
Yeah. And so I was like, fuck yeah, but like I feel like whenever my friends are like, oh, you live in Salinas? How was that? I'm like, it's just like living anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like Monterey is like the only part of the Bay Area that doesn't have a bad part of town.
Right.
Like literally, Santa Cruz, bad part of town.
Yeah.
San Jose, bad part of town. San Francisco, don't even need to answer that fucking question.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like the rest of the Bay, of course. Like Monterey is literally like the only part of town that doesn't have a bad area. Like Seaside used to be, like, I remember that when I first started coming to Monterey, people told me Seaside was the hood.
Right.
And I like drive through Seaside and I'm like, oh fuck, man! I'll roll my windows down.
Yeah.
I'll roll the laptop out the window. There's nothing.
I'll stay out after 10.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
Just yeah.
No, we moved to Salinas, dude, and that was at the end of 2012. And moved to Salinas, and like it was a trip, dude. Like I threw away all my blue shirts, I threw away all my red shirts,
Mm-hmm.
I threw away like my blue and red shoes. Like I threw every article of clothing that had a color that was not black, white, or gray. I threw it away. Like,
well, I remember I never used to own green. Green's my favorite color.
Right.
And I never used to own it because I was actually born and raised in Watsonville. I don't know if you know that.
I know Watsonville, yeah, of course.
And there was actually for a while a gang of they were white and light-skinned Mexicans, and green was their gang color.
Oh shit!
It was like all the white. It was fucking all the Micos. You know?
Yeah.
From Blood In Blood Out. If you've never watched that movie and you're listening to the show, watch that fucking movie.
Yes, please.
But Calvin, I love that fucking movie. By the way, like that surprises a lot of people, but I'm like, I fucking love that movie.
Dude, yeah. No.
But yeah, so it was weird because then I was like, I couldn't wear that fucking color.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's actually the fact that you bring up the shoe thing that's hilarious because I still have that in my brain. Like The Rock just released an actual line of like comfortable shoes. Yeah. So like he has his workout shoes.
Yeah.
And he just released ones that are like athletic shoes. Like so they compete with like the Ultra Boost and the stuff that I wear. Because I don't like his regular shoes are more for like lifting and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
But they're not long-term comfort. No. So he designed some more regular shoes, and of course the first colorway he rolls out is red, and I was like, no, I won't buy those. She was like, why? And I'm like, I just don't buy red shoes. And she's like, why? And in my head, I was like, wow, I'm still just have that ingrained in my head that it's not safe to wear that.
Dude, yeah.
But people don't realize that like that is something you have to fucking worry about.
You have to really consider that, dude. Like, and when we got there, Katie was like, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, why? I'm like, why? And she's like, Calvin, you're a Mexican man. If you go outside with a color on, they're going to shoot you. And I was like, Oh, oh yeah, that's true. I am Mexican. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, it was a trip. So that's when I moved to Salinas in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I started playing. I played the guitar. Started playing guitar when I was 13, and that's when I started singing. Um,
Yeah.
and like I did choir for like a couple years in high school. I even got a singing scholarship out of high school to
Oh,
go to Fresno State for classical opera singing.
yeah.
But then obviously, you know, when you do that, you immediately join the military like I did. And so what you call it? So I've always liked music, and then when I got out of the Marine Corps, I wanted to pursue acting and singing again. Because that's what I was doing before I joined. And then but then we moved to Salinas, and I ended up changing my major to like engineering and stuff like that. But I've always liked singing, I've always liked metal
Yeah.
music. And so I walked into okay, so there I have this joke, but it's true. How do you know an area has a metal scene, right?
Yeah.
One, there's no Guitar Center, right?
True.
Two, there's a lot of Mexicans because Mexicans love metal music. And so
I shouldn't be laughing at that, but I hope everyone on here knows I have enough Mexican friends that it's acceptable for me to find humor in that joke.
but it's true.
Yeah.
But it's true. If you go to an area and there's a lot of Mexicans and there's no Guitar Center, they have some metal music scene. Prove me wrong. And so I was like, okay, where's the music store? And I go to White's Music, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I walk up to the counter, and it's Eddie. I'm sure you remember Eddie.
Yeah.
So I walk up to the counter. I was like, hey man, blah blah. He said, what's going on? How can I help you? I was like, oh, I'm just like kind of looking around, blah blah. And I was like, hey, is there like a music scene here? He goes, yeah. And I was like, it's like metal music, and he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, okay, like ding ding. And so I was like, dude, I was like, you know, do you know of any bands who might be looking for a singer right now? He goes, actually, my band. And I was like, oh shit. And he was like, yeah, send me like a clip of you singing something, and you know, we'll run with that. And lo and behold, that's how I became the singer of Vianna.
That's so tight.
Yeah.
See, again, I didn't know that story either.
Yeah.
And so then you joined Vianna, and obviously you knew like Sal and Eddie, and then that's how you met Frankie, and
that's how I met everybody.
And then that's how you met me, was through our unfortunate mutual connection to Frankie Dye.
Yeah.
He won't watch this, so I can fucking talk all the shit I want.
Frankie.
Yeah, dude. Fuck you, Frankie, if you listen to this. Frankie's one of our Hispanic brothers that works at PinUp, by the way, for those of you not understanding who we're talking about.
He's a dope deathcore singer, too.
Dude, yeah. His name is Frankie Dye.
He's dope.
He's dope. He's pretty sick. He's all right.
Yeah. So
that's fine. So I didn't know that. So what was your? So this is a question I should have asked earlier, but I was so intrigued by all your fucking Marines information. How did you get into that? Like, what was your exposure? Like, what was the first? Was it your?
I grew up listening to disco, oldies, and gangster rap, because that's what my mom. I was raised by my mom, and so that's what she listened to. She listened to oldies. Like classic oldies, you know what I mean? Like, put your head on my shoulder, you know, like shit like that. And she also listened to disco Motown music, like Earth, Wind and Fire and shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I was raised on as well.
Right, and she was Gen X, and so she listened to hardcore gangster rap, you know, like the hardcore shit. And so that's
shit we can't talk about on stream.
Shit we can't talk about on the stream. Yeah. And so. So, like, that's what I grew up listening to. And then I remember one day I was 10 years old, and I was sitting in my dad's car. It was the one time he was, like, out of prison. And I was sitting in my dad's car, and I was listening to the radio.
Am I allowed to laugh at that? Or
yeah, of course you can. Yeah, of course you can.
Because, like, I was, like, I took a chug of my water, and I was like, should I laugh right now?
No, Joe, you know me, dude.
I know, but I'm like...
Yeah, and so I was listening to the radio, and a Nirvana song came on, and it was "I Need an Easy Friend," right? Yeah. And I was like, this fucking song is like banging right now. I was like 10 years old, and I, you know, like this song's fucking dope. And I was like, do I like rock music? And
are you a rocker? Sorry,
are you a rocker, fool? And so so I was like, this is dope, and I got really into. My favorite band was Korn. Got really into Korn. Loved Limp Bizkit and Deftones. You know, all those bands. You know what I mean? That whole new metal scene was like my shit, dude.
You know, the like 6 years that new metal was the most popular music, I truly believe that was the best time in music.
Dude, it
because
was
there was
so
no
good.
bullshit. It was so inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
You had black people, Asian people, white people. Like there was no the family values tours when those used to go
Family
on.
Values tours was the shit, dude.
Yeah, like that. I literally think I would like to say it was a decade, but we all know it really was only 6 years. Where like they were like on top. You know, like Limp Bizkit playing at WrestleMania with the Undertaker coming out on his bike and shit.
Insane,
like,
dude.
Yeah, like
in fucking sane.
Yeah. So
side note, and I know you agree with me on this. It's not Korn. It's Limp Bizkit as the top new metal band.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Westmoreland. If you want to talk to me about underappreciated musicians in the extreme scene,
yeah,
number one is Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails.
Okay.
Because people don't realize that he did the Natural Born Killers soundtrack. Like,
dude, I think Trent Reznor gets a lot of appreciation. I think there's a lot of people who stan Nine Inch Nails.
Well, no, people stand Nine Inch Nails, but not necessarily his career outside of the band. That's one thing I found out from being a Nine Inch Nails fan, because that is my favorite band of all time.
Okay.
So many people will be like, oh yeah, Nine Inch Nails this, but then like it's like, you know, when people talk about Nirvana, they talk about Kurt killing himself.
Yeah.
Or like what they did, or like do you know how many times I have the argument with like Nirvana's overrated? But if Nirvana had not done what they did when they did it, the explosion of underground rock and roll would not have happened in America. I do not care. I will literally go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and argue with the most experienced historian there. Is my professional music opinion with the face of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And the scene in America would never have been the same or what it is now without Nirvana, period.
No, I agree. I agree.
But anyways, Trent Reznor, like what he did with electronic music and rock music and blending the two, like that dude literally like came up with sounds and technology that every band used today, and most people don't realize that.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's very true. Very true.
But yeah, so anyways, underneath him is Westmoreland.
Dude, Westmoreland, dude,
is a fucking
he was insane. He took out the top string on his guitar and put a bass string there. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe because I was young and dumb. You know what I mean? But I was like, you can't do that. That's a bass guitar. You know, like I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Well, that and then like I get a lot of shit for this, but I don't even care. Like the way Fred Durst writes his lyrics, dude, he is like him and Eminem, regardless of the fact that they both say inappropriate things in their songs. Let's ignore that fact.
Okay. Yeah,
their lyrical patterns. Yeah, their lyrical patterns, the way they flow, and the way they can take subject lines through songs, and like even like the way Fred Durst when he like disses people in songs and shit. Like the dude's a fucking genius, man.
Yeah.
Jonathan Davis is just fucked up. Do you know how many fucked up singers there are?
Dude, yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get it.
I love me some Korn.
I'm a singer, dude. I get it. I totally understand. That's the one thing I can relate with the most because I'm a singer.
I've never seen Limp Bizkit live, and I'm so bummed about it.
I've never seen him live either, dude.
But you know what? I will say Korn is the second heaviest live band I've ever seen. Period.
Really?
Period.
Who's the heaviest?
Meshuggah.
Meshuggah?
Yeah.
You know who I think is the best live band?
No. I did not say best live band. I'm just clearly saying heaviest.
Okay, you know who I think is the heaviest live band?
Who?
August Burns Red.
They are pretty fucking good live.
They never disappoint.
Yeah. Well, like I said, to me, because I'm not a musician, there's a difference between like skill, talent, you know, so like the best overall live band to me, period, to see, it's a dead tie between Nine Inch Nails and Every Time I Die. Dead tie. Okay. But musicianship, best live band is Between the Buried and Me. Then, now, forever. There will never be a better band than
Between the Buried and Me, obviously. Musicianship wise, I mean, obviously.
Musicianship,
I saw the both of them. I saw Between the Buried and Me and August Burns Red, the same show.
Oh, I remember that tour.
It was dope. But I've never been as pumped as I ever could have been at two shows, August Burns Red, or every time I've seen them, and Kill Switch. every time I've seen them.
Oh, dude, Kill Switch, you just can't even beat that band.
They don't
But
they don't play around, dude. They don't fuck around.
They don't. So like, they're definitely on my list of like best live bands to see. But like, if we're gonna go just off heavy, like who's heavy?
Right.
Number 1 is Meshuggah. Number 2 is Korn.
Okay.
Number 3 is obviously The Breed.
Oh, The Breed.
Dude, Hatebreed does not fuck around live.
Now's the time, dude.
Dude. And then number 4 would be Acacia Strain because obviously they're like the kings of heavy at this point in time.
For sure. No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then
So Nirvana got me into rock alternative music.
That's so tight.
And then I lived and breathed new metal. And then over years that just like it got into heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And the more my music education progressed, the more I got to like tech and prog and stuff like that. You know, the more I started to appreciate metal music as the art that it is compared to other genres of music. I'm like a fucking music elitist now, dude. I can't stand it. It pisses me off, man.
Yeah, see, I had a very strange journey. So I went from like classic rock. That's what I grew up on.
Right.
You know, so I grew up on classic rock, and then I had a fucking punk phase.
Okay.
The local bands I got into were all the local ska bands. So that was weird. And then I discovered TSOL, the True Sons of Liberty. You remember that old punk band? And when I saw them, they had a band on tour with them called the Nerve Agents, who you might remember because you lived in the 3-1 for a while. Okay. They were like the goth punk band.
Okay.
Like the singer did like the high singing.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like almost like think of like AFI, you know what I mean? Like old AFI. So like I met the Nerve Agents, and then that opened me up into this whole world of like the crossover goth punk world. And then it was like I was gone, dude. 9 Inch Nails, Cam FDM, DNV Nation, like fucking all that. I became friends with all the Matrix kids in high school. So there was like always like electronic music on. So then like that kind of just like led me to like I said, 9 Inch Nails, and then Manson, and then System of a Down. And then I found the rest of the new metal. I was like, this is fucking tight. And then at the same time, I had this chick in high school I had the hugest crush on, who she also loved the Nerve Agents, and she showed me Poison the Well, and it was just over from there.
Dude.
So what's weird about me though is like I have the reverse trajectory path of everybody else. Hardcore is actually the last thing I listened to.
Me too.
So I got into like goth punk, and then that had a weird transition with all the other stuff. But then I found out about Poison the Well, and then right after Poison the Well, my exposure was like Through the Eyes of the Dead, Ed Gein, you know, Every Time I Die, The Bled, stuff that was like all on the edge of the scene.
Yeah. No, mine is like I said, Nirvana, but my Nirvana like phase was quick. I quickly grew out of Nirvana, and it went right into, you know, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, stuff like that. You know, I was very radio rock, and so like Kill Switch was huge for me. Stained, you know, stuff like that. You know, like, you know what I'm saying, like radio rock.
No, I get it.
Yeah, and then the band.
We grew up in the era of like Nickelback and shit like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like she fucking hates me, bro. I know, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
right, dude. I get it, dude. I get it. No,
I'm just one step closer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's true. And I'm also really bad at acquiring new music, and so it took me like a really long time to get into metal. And the band, so Kill Switch was like probably the heaviest I listened to. You know, and at a late date too. Like maybe like I don't fucking know, 2010 or something, 2009, like that. I got into it late.
Yeah.
Or 2008 maybe. And then the band that like switched me over to the heavy was the Devil Wears Prada, even though they're not the heavy, but that got me into.
I mean, their first record and the Zombie EP are pretty fucking heavy.
Zombie EP is fucking dude, it's such a good album. But anyway, Devil Wears Prada got me into that, and then like Kill Switch kind of like took a back seat because it wasn't heavy enough for me anymore, and then that started the, you know, the ABR, and then the fucking And then I got really into like metalcore, which like of Mice and Men. I saw them live. I wrestled a bear once.
Dude, you've heard the new Iwalwa band, right?
You told me about it.
Spirit Box.
I had Spirit Box. Yeah, Spirit Box. Yeah, of
that's
course.
what
Spirit
I mean.
Box. Holy Roller, dude. Fucking dope.
Yeah, so the second singer of Iwalwa,
is the singer for the Spirit Box now.
Yeah, and then the guitar player is the same.
Yeah.
And I think the bass player is also the same.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
I think all three of them are all in Iwalwa together.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I loved that Wrestle Bear one.
Which is funny because I remember when she replaced the original singer of Iwalwa, everybody hated her.
Everybody hated it, dude.
And now they're doing a Spirit Box, and everyone is just like best fan in the world.
No, their album Hail Mary, I think that's what it's called. Their last album that they did, which was like super fucking deathcore. It's so good, dude. I'm sorry. It's just a really good album.
No, it was. Like I remember it caught a lot of people off guard. Like that record, and I was like, this is probably the best Iwalwa record. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. And then I got into, further, and when I got into Selena's, I got turned on to Gent. Like everybody loved Periphery, Volumes and Tesseract and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then for me, what got me was I do music and I play instruments and stuff, but my singing is like my main instrument. And what always gets me
excited to join us.
Hey.
Hi, Bowie.
What's up?
She's been sleeping.
And so
she's ready for her WALK. That's so she's bothering me. It's okay. She'll take a minute. She's fine.
So singing has always been like the thing that's like progressed me into the next band, because like they can do cool ass guitar stuff, what the hell, but if the singing sucks, then I'm not gonna listen to it. And then I got into like Protest the Hero and stuff like that. But I'm still very on the outskirts of hardcore. And I like maybe like 2 weeks ago, I just started listening to Knock Loose. And
I still haven't listened to Knock Loose. Like I know who they are.
Fucking good, dude. Like,
I know. I'm like I've heard the songs, but I'm still like.
Right. No, I've been listening to.
I'm just old and bitter. You know what I mean?
Like I've been listening to a different shade of blue and laugh tracks. Solid albums, dude. Like fucking solid albums. And I'm not saying that I'm surprised. I'm just ignorant to hardcore.
Yeah.
And I wish I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not. They're a metalcore band. They're not a hardcore band.
Oh, you classify them as a metalcore band?
No, it's okay to like metalcore now.
Right. Oh yeah, metalcore's coming back.
Because all those bands are classifying themselves as metalcore bands again.
Wait, so Knock Loose classifies themselves as a metalcore band?
I would think so. I'm pretty sure they do.
I'm pretty sure they classify themselves as a hardcore band, bro.
I mean, I don't know.
That's the style. That's what it sounds like to me.
Sounds like a metalcore band to me, not a hardcore band.
Really? It sounds like a hardcore band to me, dude.
See, Bane is a hardcore band to me.
Do you consider 100th?
Old 100th? That would have been. That would be considered. I would consider that melodic metalcore if we're talking subgenres.
Okay, I consider 100th melodic hardcore because and so that first album, when will we surrender, or something like that?
Yeah.
That's what Knock Loose sounds like to me.
Okay, fair. No, I get that. Like I said, everyone's had kind of like a different See, because to me, like all of our friends, we both have friends that are older. Those guys all grow up with metalcore was like Bleeding Through, Martyr AD, Disembodied. That was metalcore to them.
Right.
But when people say metalcore, I think like From Autumn to Ashes, The Bled.
Same.
Yeah,
same.
Stuff like that. But so like now that the hardcore bands are doing a lot more metalcore elements, they're readopting the term metalcore, even though some of the world still considers metalcore to be stuff that has like more clean vocals.
Right.
Or whatever you want to call it. I know a lot of people hate the term clean singing. I get it. So, but
I consider metalcore having an element of clean singing in it.
Yeah. What is? I'm going to ask you a really tough question right now. What's your number one metalcore CD?
My number one,
like not the one you think is the best.
right?
Like if you were going to put on a metalcore album right now,
Yeah.
That you can listen to the whole thing front to back, what would it be?
And I might get flack for this just because they're like, oh, they're not metalcore.
I don't care.
I think Killswitch's first album is my number one metalcore album.
That's fine.
I think The End of Heartache.
Yeah.
Every fucking song, dude, is a fucking banger, dude.
Well, Howard Jones,
dude. I mean, Kate, what was it? Temple Within? Is that
wait. Is he on that record?
Yes. That's his first album.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I forget the name of Killswitch's first album. It's not Temple Within, is it? I don't remember.
Let me look. Hold on, I have my phone.
Good album. You know, don't get me wrong. Jesse's dope. Jesse's a dope ass singer. And he's dope frontman for Killswitch before and now. But that End of Heartache, dude, was such a fucking golden album, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude. Taylor Moore and I drove down to see the 10-year anniversary of that show, of that album. That like they did. Remember when they used to do California Metal Fest?
Yes.
They headlined the last one, and Winds of Plague played.
Oh wait, I vaguely remember this.
So Johnny got us in, and Taylor and I drove down there for that fucking set, dude.
Fucking dope, dude.
It was.
No, that End of Heartache, dude. I don't know. I can still listen to that album. There's only a few albums that I can listen front to back.
Mm-hmm.
The End of Heartache is one. The Used, self-titled album, is one.
Mm-hmm.
August Burns Red, Thrill Seeker.
Okay.
Another one.
For me, it would have to be I'm Unalive with Just Breathing.
Okay.
Killswitch Person. That's me. That record can do no wrong. Like.
Okay. Solid.
Wait, that was the 10-year tour we saw. Was Alive with Just Breathing, not End of Heartache. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
I'm not thinking about it. But anyways, yeah, that fucking record.
Solid.
My number one, like if anyone's like, I've never heard of.
Wait, I missed one.
Go ahead.
The best album of all time. Hybrid Theory. The best album of all time.
It's not a metalcore record, but that is the best.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just in general.
Oh, okay, yes.
Because the Used isn't metalcore either. But
you could.
They're kind of
M and MCR really skirt the line a lot.
Right. But I'm just saying, the front to back albums, the greatest album of all time, hands down. You cannot tell me otherwise. Hybrid Theory, the greatest album of all time.
I respect that.
Sorry. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, anyways, so if somebody was like, I want to learn what metalcore is to you, Joel, what should I listen to? I would tell them to put on From Autumn to Ashes, The Affliction We Live.
Okay. Yes.
That fucking record, great breakdowns, great melodies, great harmonies, which not a lot of metalcore bands are good at.
Right.
And fucking clean singing and screaming.
Yeah.
Boom. And if it's not that, it's fucking bleeding through. This is love, this is murder, baby.
Okay.
In my opinion, those two records are perfect metalcore records.
I dig it.
Like I dig it. But I'm always been a sucker for bands with keyboards in them. You know that.
Really? You're a synth dude or just a keyboard dude?
Well, dude, the first house show I ever went to, and okay, not ever, but being a part of the core scene was Horse the Band.
Horse the Band.
And so because of that was still the nuttiest thing I've ever fucking seen live.
Okay.
I just have always had a soft spot. And I mean, obviously I toured with Arsonists forever.
Yeah.
You know, you should check out a band. They're Dutch, I think. But it's called Make Them Suffer.
Make Them Suffer.
Yeah. Female singer. They have keys in it, but it's sick. I think you'd like it a lot.
Okay.
They're like they're not even that new anymore, but they're one of the few newer bands that I'm like, all right. And they're all cool. We partied with them in LA a couple years ago.
So. Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Because fucking Ponyboy knows them, of course.
Oh, dude, Ponyboy knows everybody now.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's a rocker fool. That's why, dude.
He's a rocker fool?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I've had this conversation, I think with you, but I've had it with other friends in our now smaller circle. I've always felt welcomed in the metal scene. I don't know what it is about specifically metal scenes that are just so inviting to everybody. You know what I mean? Like I've sang classical. I used to be in a R&B rap group. You know what I mean? Like I was like, you know, like I've done various musical things, and like maybe even like acting, and like I was in the military. You know, I went to college for mathematics. You know what I mean? Like I've done all these things, but the only community that I actually feel the most myself and most comfortable in is the metal community, and I don't understand that.
I think it's because so I think metal has become what punk was supposed to be. Because
Mm,
when punk started, it was just like we are who we are, like fuck the man,
right.
like whatever. And I feel like some circles of punk lost their way.
Mm,
Punk hardcore happened, and then you had like the whole like we beat up Nazis, but that also turned into the crew aspect and like the tough guy aspect
hmm.
that comes off punk and hardcore.
Right.
You have like the gutter punks, which are just like fuck you, fuck everyone, I live on a train, and then you have the like regular punk dudes, which is chill. But then you also have like the skater punk subculture,
Right.
and a lot of it is very clicky. I feel like
Right.
the metal scene does have its clicks. I'm not going to disacknowledge
For
that.
sure. Oh, no, for sure.
It's so much easier for you to just be a new guy at a metal show,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean. You can roll into a metal show with the fucking
You don't wear anything, and they don't.
yeah. Yeah. You just come in your regular clothes.
If you're trying to break into the punk scene and you show up wearing the wrong thing, you're a fucking poser, or
Right.
you're a noob.
Right. Where'd you get those patches?
Yeah, or you're the new. Hey, what's up, New Jack? Like, do you
Yeah.
remember that when we was always like, oh, there's the New Jacks over there.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, like so, and I feel like metal's just like, oh, this is your first show. Come the fuck up here. Oh, you're 12. Here's the beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Because it's just about what you experience. It's about
Yeah.
we all like PinUp originally didn't do a lot with death metal.
Okay.
We look a lot of death metal, and I fucking love it, dude. Because I can show up to a death metal show dressed in all streetwear shit and like a hardcore band shirt, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's up, Joel? Like, what's up?"
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter what I show up wearing.
No, not at all.
It doesn't give a shit. I'm just
No.
like, I love metal and beer, and they're like, that's good enough for me, man.
Yeah, no, it's true, dude. Like, it's true.
It doesn't matter what I believe in. It doesn't matter which political party you give a shit about.
No,
Like, I mean, nowadays I think it should a little bit
probably
more.
does more now.
But which is fine. I'm still okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's so accepting, man. Like the metal scene.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's always blown my mind. It's always blown my mind because it just goes back to what we're first talking about. Being a Mexican dude in the military, and being a Mexican conservative. You know what I mean? Like trying to fit into these environments that I didn't necessarily belong in, and that I never felt like I was actually a part of.
Yeah.
But it was honestly when I joined the Salinas metal community and like dove, and that was my first entry into metal music, like as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like that I actually feel like I'm like, oh shit, I'm a metal dude. You know what I mean? Like yeah, I'm an emo boy. I like my sad songs, and you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, who doesn't? I mean,
who does it?
There used to be so many videos of me like about to throw up on myself in the back of a car singing Dashboard Confessional.
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like we've all been.
Dude, okay, I play guitar, and I'm not good because I don't practice it. Because I practice my singing more than I practice my guitar, so I'm a much better singer than I am a guitar player. But the majority of the songs that I know how to play on guitar are Dashboard Confessional songs. Like that, everyone's like play Slayer, Metallica, nope, Dashboard, like fucking Dashboard, dude.
That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But speaking of communities, like the last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up our episode is like, you're on Twitch now. You've been on Twitch for a couple of years now. I recently made the shift, and so a lot of people from the metal community, as you know, because you're privy to a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love the community there.
Yeah.
I feel like they give everybody a chance, and I feel like, at least if there is shit talk, it's way more.
Yeah.
In closed doors.
It is.
But like, I feel like it's very accepting, and it's like anybody can walk on into the community, and if you're there for the right reasons and doing it the right way and trying and being authentic, you can be accepted.
Right.
I really love how it's like a place for people to come and show off their creative freak side. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, our boy Black Mario is a great example. You know,
Yeah, dude. No,
like
I'm very proud of him.
if you only knew him as Adam from Oceano, and then you showed up there, you'd be like, what the fuck is this goofy bullshit?
Right. You know what's great about that is that you go in there, you ask him about Oceano, you ask him about being Adam. He's like, who the fuck is that? You know, like he's like, yeah, I'm Black Mario. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, and like when people bring it up or just call him by his real name in chat, he just like ignores it.
He ignores it, dude.
I love it.
He ignores it.
He's gonna be on the show eventually.
Yeah, I want to see that one. Yeah, no. Twitch has been very interesting. Like if there's one thing that I've always done, it's that I've always played video games. I've always played video games. It's my addiction. It beats out music. It beats out anything else that I have to do in a day gets postponed because of video games. I would rather play video games than do most everything in a day. It's like it's an addiction.
I think eating is like the only thing higher on the list for me.
Bro, I can even just postpone eating, bro. Like I'm one of those guys. Like I can just
dog, don't even talk to me. Dude, when I was like 23, I went on the best diet of my life. You want to know what I called it?
Wow.
Yes, the World of Warcraft diet. I still call it that to this day. Oh, what's that? I woke up right around noon. It's 9 o'clock. I gained 30 levels, but I haven't eaten. Shit, I just lost 20 pounds. Thanks, World of Warcraft.
Yeah, no, dude, no. Like I'm that guy. I'm the guy stay up till fucking 2 and then wake up at 6. That's me. Like I don't know what it is about it.
Who was your vanilla World of Warcraft character?
I never played WoW.
Oh.
I grew up on consoles, and I could never afford a laptop or a computer. And then, well, I think I've told you my WoW story, right? So it was when I joined the Marine Corps. The year was 2007, and I was talking to my sergeant, and he's like, "You play video games, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I do. You know, I'm a fucking gamer, dude, gamer bro, and gamer man,
gamer fool.
I'm a gamer fool." And he was like, "You ever played World of Warcraft?" Right? And 2007 was when World of Warcraft was like fucking hot, right? And popping. He's like, "You ever play World of Warcraft?" And I was like, "No, never. It's a PC game, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You should play it, dude. It's fucking dope. You do raids and blah blah blah." I was like, "Fuck it, I'll give it a try. You know, whatever." And so I was on my ex's laptop, and I went to the website where the fuck it is, and it was like free 30-day trial of World of Warcraft, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." So I downloaded it, right? Started it up. I was like, "Welcome to World of Warcraft," and I made a fucking an ogre fighter knight, melee dude. Yeah. And it was like, "Welcome to World of Warcraft. This is your starting village, whatever the fuck. Click on this guy to get your first quest." And so I walk, I'm new to mouse and keyboard. So I'm like, "Oh, I know what to do." And so I walk over to the dude and I click on him. Nothing happens. So then I double click on him. Nothing happens. So then I right click on him. Nothing happens. And then I pressed every single key on the keyboard. I'm not kidding. Nothing happened. I said, "Fuck this game." And I turned it off. And I never played WoW since. I have never played. It's been 14 years.
I love that.
Never played it.
Oh, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, so I've always played video games. I've always been all about video games to the detriment of my relationships. And so
preach.
Yeah, and so
Trina won't watch this, so I can say that.
Preach. And so a couple of years ago, I never owned a PC. And so a couple of years ago, I was talking to my wife and I was like, "Hey, like my laptop is getting old now." It was a MacBook. And as my laptop is getting old, I kind of want to buy a PC and get into PC gaming. And she finally agreed. She finally allowed me to do it. And so I built this PC, and I got really into PC gaming. I was like, you know what? Like now that I have this badass PC, like why don't I stream? I'm playing games anyway. Why don't I just stream the games that I'm playing? And so that's how I got into Twitch streaming and
awesome.
Yeah, it's been just over 2 years now, like two and a half years now.
What do you hear? Oh, she sees the FedEx truck, dude.
Uh-oh.
That's why she's like frozen. I'm like, what the fuck do you? What's your?
Gonna get you. Watch out.
Get him, Bowie. Fuck him up. What's he doing? What's he doing? That's tight. Yeah, man. That's good. So how you know, I know your spiel. What's your Twitch spiel? You know, you stream 3 days a week.
Yeah. I stream 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings, Pacific Standard Time. So like from 6 to 10 or so. Probably sometimes before like 5, sometimes later, like midnight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I stream 3 days a week. I started out primarily streaming For Honor, the game For Honor, and that's how I made most of my following, was through For Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing that made like the greatest impact to my stream was Twitch Sings. But then more recently I've gotten really heavy into Apex Legends. But I do play single player games. Like I played Sekiro. I just recently did a Dark Souls 3 playthrough. I play scary games. You know, I pretty much do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know, but my main game right now that I really want to get into the community with is Apex Legends, and I want to be known as an Apex Legends player because I think I'm good.
You're pretty good. Yes. Also, that's a great game. So
it's a dope game.
Can you see her?
Of course you can.
So she hates being near my computer and my microphone. And she's like not even shaking. She is literally just fixated on that FedEx truck. Like,
that's hilarious.
Normally she'd be trying to like get the fuck out of my arms right now, but she's lifting her neck up to stare at this motherfucker delivering these packages.
Bro, she had terrible experiences with FedEx trucks before, dude. You better watch out.
I guess, like
in her past life.
We owned her whole life, so yeah, it must be a past life.
In her past life, she was a UPS driver, not a FedEx.
She's like, that's the enemy.
The enemy here.
Is that the enemy, Bowie? Bowie?
I'm gonna get him.
Bowie? What? Oh, what is it?
Better watch out.
What is it?
Driver UPS.
What is it? Well, anyways, okay, I want to put you down, baby. Calvin and I are almost done.
We're almost done. Bowie, we're almost done.
Well, that's tight. Well, you know, everybody, if you're watching this, make sure you check Calvin out online. Calvin, thanks for joining me. Some of you may know we recently started a new division of PinUp Artist Management where we represent streamers and content creators. Calvin actually does that with me, which is one of the many reasons I wanted him on this show, other than being a good friend. You know, and the fact that I don't ever remember meeting his wife because I'm a terrible person.
Because you were wasted, bro.
Yes, Jack Daniels is the devil. But yeah, no. So Calvin does that with me. You know, our goal there is to help people learn like the streaming world, the etiquette, the technology, what it takes, the drive, how to balance it all out. I feel like we know what we're doing. So
it's fun. Yeah. I like it.
But anyways, you can get more information on that down below. That's all. I'm not going to shameless self-promote this episode. I don't need to do any of that nonsense. I do too much of that as it is. So Calvin, I have a few questions that I wrap the show with all the time.
Let's go.
You ready?
Yeah.
Number 1, what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Okay. That's somehow the runner-up on the show. That's so crazy.
Purple.
Green is in the lead, which is my favorite color, but a lot of people say green, and then purple is legitimately the runner-up. And then I think after that, I think it's actually orange. But like 90% of my answers are green and purple.
Really?
Yeah.
Purple and black are my favorite.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you some questions that I ask all the touring dudes, but you've traveled a bunch with the Army. Sorry, the Marines. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, at least I corrected myself that time. Okay. So what is your favorite food that you can't get where you live? Like whether it's somewhere you visited when you were in the Marines, whether it's somewhere from your traveling, when you see family, when you see Katie's family.
Right.
What's something that you love food-wise that you can't get where you live?
The one thing that I can't, and you can, but it's not the same. Bratwurst in Germany.
Ooh.
Dude, we went to Germany a couple years ago, and they sell bratwurst just on the streets. And I don't know what they do over there, but they're fucking different, dude. And they're man. Oh my god.
Well, dude, so I understand that because I love poutine.
Yeah.
the Canadian delicacy. They don't call it a delicacy, but I do. And, like, you can walk down the street and there's like how we have hot dog carts. They have poutine carts.
Yeah.
And it tastes a gazillion times.
It's different. It's different.
I've had duck confit poutine and it made in America. And I would throw that like $18 meal out for $5 street cart poutine in Canada.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about. Yeah. I don't know what it is. But over there, the fucking brats, dude, they're, oh my God. Oh my God. It was insane. I wanted to duck it. You know what I mean?
No,
like, you know how ducks don't chew? You just let it go. That's what I would do.
Down. Yeah, I know.
Just,
dude. Fuck. Okay, what's your regular favorite food?
My regular favorite food?
Yes.
Is
It's okay, baby.
Is this like guilty pleasure or like?
No, just top. What's your favorite food? Just it can be guilty pleasure.
Okay, I'll give you two answers then. My favorite food is pizza. I love pizza. Dude, I don't know.
Great choice.
I don't know what it is about pizza, dude. I kill myself with pizza, right? But my guilty pleasure is like chili beans, like chili fries, chili burgers, chili dogs. Like I don't know what it is about that shit. I love that shit, dude. I don't know.
Dog, next time you come back to the area, when I'm sure you and Katie will come visit Monterey at some point in time.
Yeah.
There's a new place that opened on Lighthouse here in Pacific Grove. It's called Lucy's on Lighthouse.
Okay.
They literally just took all of the Santa Cruz culture and just made a fucking hot dog place.
Fuck. You serious?
And it's like, so the whole thing is skate and surf themed. They have like, I think it's 12 different hot dog flavors. You can get like chili cheese dogs. You can get hot dogs with mac and cheese on top of it. Like, and I went out, and the first thing I had the first time I went there was a fucking chili cheese dog, and it was fucking bomb, dude.
I love chili. I'm sorry. Okay. Dude. All right. Those are my answers.
So have you ever actually had a Frito pie?
No.
Dude.
A Frito pie?
Okay, listen to this. I learned this when I lived I say the Midwest, but I mean New Mexico.
Wait, is this like a Frito boat?
No. It's called a Frito pie for a reason.
Okay.
You get a bag of Fritos.
Okay.
You sprinkle cheddar cheese in it.
Okay.
And then you dump chili in it and you eat it out of the bag with a spoon.
Dude, we used to do that in high school. We used to get hot Cheetos and they would pour nacho cheese in it and you eat that shit with a spoon.
Same difference, basically.
Okay.
But dude, it's like it's like the shittiest.
I love it already.
Snack, but I'm like, give it to me, dude.
Dude, I want it, dude.
Dude, chili. That's a great answer. I never. I'm glad you said that.
I love chili beans, dude. I fucking love chili.
Dude, good beans, but not like, I don't mean refried or pinto. Like good bean, like chili beans, dude.
Chili beans.
The right mixture. Oh fuck, dude.
I'm talking about like fuck. I don't even care, dude. I want to have I want fucking Hormel, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit. I'm not looking for.
Never asked me what my guilty pleasure is.
Yeah, what's your guilty pleasure?
Mac and cheese is my regular favorite food.
Love mac and cheese.
I would not necessarily call that guilty pleasure.
No.
If I want something that I know I should not eat, I want the biggest, sloppiest tri-tip sandwich I can fucking get.
Okay.
Tri-tip, you give me the fucking barbecue sauce, some cheese. I'm like the fucking squishiest bun with all the fucking butter.
Yes, dude.
Butter with the bread toasted and then the meat. Oh, dude, just fuck me up, dude.
Yes, dude. Yo, doesn't Salina City Barbecue do a tri-tip sandwich?
Yes. They actually, and there's a new, they actually opened a barbecue restaurant in Carmel for the first time in 45 years. And it's fucking, their tri-tip sandwich is fucking perfect.
Did Clint Eastwood allow this?
He's not our mayor anymore. I say our like I live there. You know what I mean? But yes, he allowed it.
Fuck, dude.
It's good. It's good. Okay. So we did that. We did the color. Well, so usually I ask this question about a band. Mm-hmm. So I'll ask this about Twitch.
Okay.
Who is like either a newer or an underappreciated Twitch streamer that you would recommend everybody check out? Normally I ask this question about a band, but you are not involved with active music, so.
Not anymore, yeah. I would say.
And it could be one of our friends. That's okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm really bad at watching Twitch streamers. I'm really bad at it. Okay. But there's a dude who I watch, who I'm pretty good friends with. He goes by the name of Kuro Zero. Kurozero.
Okay.
And he doesn't do anything like special with his streams, right? He just goes on there, he's himself, and he plays games. But there's just something about his channel that I just love. I just love his channel, and I like I said, I'm really bad at participating in other people's channels. I'm really bad at it. I go and I don't even tell people that I'm lurking. I just lurk. Like I'm the true lurker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't even say, "Hey, what's going on?" I just sit there and I watch, or I turn it on in the background and I do like the rest of my life. But Kurozero, dude, he's a really cool dude. His streams, I don't know, dude. I don't know what it is about his streams, but I think he's a cool dude. I think he's a really cool dude.
An answer is an answer, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is the hot debate. In-N-Out or Whataburger?
Never had Whataburger.
Okay, so another point for In-N-Out. Easy, nice, quick and easy.
I'd been in the vicinity of Whataburger, and I was like, no.
That answers the question. Have you ever been to the East Coast?
I used to live there.
Can I ask you this question then? Sheetz or Wawa?
Wawa.
I thought I knew you.
Wait, are you a Sheetz guy?
Oh, Team Sheetz forever.
Really?
Dude, Sheetz has the best low budget 4-cheese mac and cheese you can get in America, and I will say that right fucking here, and I don't care.
See, I don't know, man. Every time, I don't know. When I went to Sheetz, maybe because it was nighttime, that's why I'm like, this is dangerous, you know. but like Wawa, dude, I just felt like Wawa was just like a fucking Denny's, you know what I mean? Like, dope, Wawa's open, let's go.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I ask everyone that question, so don't feel bad.
Okay.
It's a trick answer. The answer is Buc-ee's, but I don't even know if you know.
Okay, I've never been to a Buc-ee's. No.
Well, next time you're in Texas, you have to go to Buc-ee's.
Let's go.
I don't care if it's 2 hours out of the way.
Let's go.
Think of Walmart and 7-Eleven combined.
Okay. I can do
like
that.
A luxury pilot station, but everything is their own branding with Bucky. This is Bucky.
Oh shit. Okay.
This is Bucky right here. Hold on. Got a koozie.
Bucky. Oh, I've seen that logo.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
You've seen the logo, but you've never been.
No, never.
That's fine. That's because everyone spreads the word of the buck, dude. And every time you show up, there's a bronze beaver statue in the front of every single Buc-ee's, dude.
It's fucking dope.
Bucky the Beaver.
Bucky the Beaver, dude.
Last time J-Lo went to Texas to visit family, he brought me home a bag of beaver nuggets, dude. This motherfucker Katy Perry's me, dude. Doesn't tell me he's back from his trip, knocks on the door and just leaves me Bucky stuff in a plastic bag. And I open the door and the plastic bag's just rustling in the wind. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I open it and there was Bucky shit in it.
J-Lo did this?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Dude, right? I'm a little out of practice with these questions because I've been talking to myself for so long now. I think I asked you everything except the final question. Are you ready?
I'm ready, dude.
Everyone has a trait about themselves, or a personality trait, a hobby, or a characteristic that they don't show on the internet, or in your case on their Twitch channel, or when the band member plays live. We are all real people. Underneath our characters, shows, streams, live sets, etc., 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 etc. So, what is something about you that you don't put on the internet that you wish more people knew about you?
I don't mean to, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I am. I'm really fucking smart. Like I'm stupid smart. Like I graduated from UCSD, which is one of the top public schools in the world, with a degree in probability and statistics. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't sound like.
I don't even know what that means. So
well, it's basically just a stats degree, and I took some classes in probability. But like you know, if that doesn't do it for you, you know what I mean? Like I'm one of two people in both sides of my family who went to college. You know what I mean? And actually got a college degree, and I did it literally by myself. No family help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I muscled my way through college. like, I don't know. Like I say dude and bro and I cuss, whatever the hell.
You're like a goofy, likable guy. So that's
yeah, exactly. I'm
a fair thing to point out.
I was also a class clown in high school. And I barely graduated high school because I didn't do my homework. Yeah. But like
they almost held me back, dude.
Yeah. No, when I took a test when I was younger and they wanted to move me up 2 grades, and my wife knows this about me and other people know. Other people just assume, oh, he's not stupid, whatever. But like I'm really fucking smart. Like I know a lot of shit. And I've, I don't know. Like you can't describe how smart you are, you know what I mean? Because people are like, you're not stupid, you know what I mean? But like I'm really fucking smart. But like you can't go around and because they say the wise man is quiet, but the non-smart person is the loudest person, you know what I mean? Like I don't go around and just like shout at people all the facts and all the thoughts and the reasons that I have because I could be wrong and I don't want to be wrong.
You know what? You know who said it best, dude? The Rock, dude. Shut up and know your role.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's true. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, like, yeah, who cares if it was his wrestling gimmick? What is he wrong?
Right, he's not wrong.
Like, I'll talk about the fucking music industry and being a promoter because that's what I know.
Right.
If it's outside of that, I should shut up. Do I shut up? But that's not the point.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like I said, I have a degree in mathematics, but I don't go around stouting, or just throwing mathematic facts in people's faces, because I'm not an expert in mathematics. Just because I know some math doesn't mean I'm an expert. I'm not going to go and act like I'm the the premier person in mathematics. I know a lot about U.S. politics. I know a lot about global politics. International. I know a lot about history. I know a lot about chemistry and biology. Like I know a lot of shit about music. You know what I mean? But like I don't. You don't go around and just like throw it in people's faces. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But I wish more people would come to me and ask me things about things because I know a lot of shit and I'd like to be known as a smart dude, not just like a funny dude or a good singer or a good entertainer. I'd like people to be like, wow, he's actually a really smart dude,
Yeah. I like that. Great answer. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like that. Thanks, Colin. Thanks for sharing that. I know you're smart, so I'm not surprised by this at all. But okay. Anyways, everybody, we've gone on way longer than I expected, but that seems to be typical with this fucking show. So, Calvin, I super appreciate you being here. Everybody watching and listening, I super appreciate you guys. Quick reminder: if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe, please.
Do it.
Calvin, I just called you Calvin instead of Calvin. I'm just so used to it. Okay, I know your Twitter is what's here displayed on the screen, Calvin Man.
Yep.
I know you recently are on your way to becoming a TikTok superstar.
Yeah.
What is your TikTok?
It's at Calvin Guinness. My name.
Your name is his last name is Guinness, not spelled like the beer though.
Yeah.
I had to finish I had to finish the DeFonts the other day, Calvin.
It'll be in the description.
Yeah, everything will be in the description. I'll have all Calvin's links. His Twitch is just twitch.tv/Calvan.
YouTube/Calvan.
YouTube, yep. So I'll have Calvin's links down below. Please check him out on Twitch. Please find him on socials. Give him a follow. Again, he is part of the extended PinUp fam with the new branch of the company. So hopefully you guys will be seeing some more of him and checking him out. Calvin, thank you so much for joining me, dude. Like
anytime, Joe.
I love doing this show because it's a peel back at people in my life, but also like I learn shit. Like every time I have a good friend on the show, I learn something about them. Yeah. I learned a lot of shit about you today that I didn't. Like a lot.
Yeah, let's go.
Actually, more than I normally do, I think. So that's fucking tight.
I'm always down to chat with you. You know that.
I know you are. That's why I fucking appreciate you. All right, everybody. This has been another episode of Joel Cupcake Live. Thank you for fucking being here. Yes, I'll have part 2 with Greg from Zenith Passage soon. I just got to get a hold of that motherfucker. He doesn't exist on social media anymore, so it's kind of like when Luke had to go find Obi-Wan. That's how Greg. You know Greg, Calvin.
I don't.
You don't know Greg Hampton?
No.
I thought you did. Anyways, okay, long story. We'll talk about this another time.
Yeah.
But everybody, thanks for tuning it in. Calvin, thanks for being my guest. I hope you had a fucking blast. I had a blast. Everybody, obviously, hit the follows through the socials, share, comments. If you want to talk shit to Calvin, just let me know, and I'll relay the message for you because I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.